In ancient Egypt, they called it the knot of Isis, but no one tells you it's not for beauty, but to bind the soul. Have you ever noticed that no matter how hard you try to change, certain emotions, relationships, and scenarios keep replaying themselves over and over again? You always meet the same wrong people, always break down and retreat in the same places, always pulled back to square one by some inexplicable pull. This isn't coincidence. It's not a matter of personality. It's a woven destiny. In ancient Egyptian mysticism, there was a forbidden art, not magic. They believed that the most powerful force in the world wasn't spells, but thread. It could sew together life and seal the soul. And Isis was the weaver of this knotting ritual. She mended Osiris's body in the land of the dead and tied an unfinished knot for every soul. The pain you thought you'd forgotten, the suppressed anger, the unspoken parts of yourself, all become knotted, entangled in the softest, most maternal part of you. And you've lived until today, merely being led along by those knots. When many hear the term being tied, their first reaction is that it must be a means of containment, suppression, and control. But have you ever considered that knots are never one-sided? They can both lock and connect. They can both constrain and protect. Isis's knots were never malicious restraints, but rather a sacred seal meant to hold your immature power. Back then, you might have been too weak to bear your true self. So she used knots to package and hide those unresolved emotions, untying them one by one when you were ready. She wasn't punishing you, but waiting for you to develop the maternal strength to take on the unfinished parts of yourself. What you perceive as fragility, withdrawal, and confusion may actually be the knots reminding you. There's a part of you you've forgotten, rejected and shamefully hidden away. You're not a failure. You're simply unresolved. And now, Isis is waiting for you to turn back and retrieve the pieces you tied and discarded with your own hands. Have you ever noticed that when faced with certain people or choices, your body involuntarily tenses? A tightness in your chest, a stomachache, a heaviness in your shoulders? You might think it's pressure, but in reality it's a certain knot, reminding you that you're trapped. In ancient Egyptian mysticism, the knot of Isis isn't just a symbol. It represents 7 sealing points within the human body. Each knot entangles precisely around your 7 energy chakras, weaving together the map of your destiny. For example, a knot in the throat chakra renders you speechless at crucial moments. You want to express yourself, but you can't. Consequently, you miss out again and again until you begin to doubt whether you deserve to be heard. A knot in the heart chakra forces you to retreat in love. You long for intimacy, but you push others away because too much pain remains unresolved. The knot in your root chakra is a blockade of security, keeping you constantly adrift in the pursuit of money, belonging, and a sense of existence. You're always surviving, rather than truly living. Have you ever considered that these recurring predicaments aren't external problems, but rather internal knots that repeatedly pull you back into the same cycle of destiny? These knots aren't accidental. They have names, locations, and histories. They are maternal seals left behind on your soul's journey. They aren't meant to punish you, but to empower you to untie them one by one. When you're ready to untie the knots of destiny, the first step isn't to force them free, but to identify the main knot that's holding you back. Please calm down now. Close your eyes and mentally recall 3 recent moments of intense frustration, loss of control, and emotional breakdown. Feel in those moments. Who disappointed you? What decision led to your downfall? What situation left you completely powerless? Then ask yourself, where did I feel the most pain at that moment? It's not physical pain, but an energy blockage. You might feel a tightness in your throat, a tightness in your chest, an empty stomach, a coldness in your lower back. This is where your main knot is. In Isis knot work, there's an ancient rule of thumb. Knots are visible in things. Locks are hidden in wheels. This means your external experiences are merely clues. What's really holding you back is which energy chakra is currently blocked. If you're constantly hurt in relationships and can't articulate what you want, your knot is likely in your throat or third eye chakra. If you constantly struggle with money and security, you should examine whether your root and navel chakras are already locked. If you only give in love but never dare receive, the seal on your heart chakra may have been quietly placed in childhood. Identifying your master knot is like finding the crucial knot in the web of fate. The Isis knotting ritual begins here. Once you identify the master knot that's holding you back, you stand on the threshold of transforming your destiny. But this door isn't opened by pushing, but by weaving. Just like the ancient Egyptian goddess Isis, she once wove order into the universe and stitched together the shattered souls of the dead. She is not a war god of destruction, but a mother goddess who rebuilt order. Ancient texts record that Isis holds a knotted cord in her hand. This is no ordinary thread, but the primal thread that symbolizes the flow of destiny's energy. Each strand corresponds to the rhythm of a wheel of energy. She knots the cord not to bind, but to allow, to stitch together a fragmented soul, to restore a disordered life to its center, and to reconnect you, torn apart by social logic, to your inner motherhood. What is motherhood? It is not weakness nor dependence. Rather, it is accepting all chaos while still choosing to gently stitch it together. True menders of destiny never draw their swords. They simply wield the thread in their hands. Thus, this ritual is not about confrontation, nor about tearing apart, but about a journey of threading the soul and weaving it back into place. Are you ready to meet Isis? Has it arrived? Next, we will begin a visualization meditation to call upon your inner Isis energy. She will personally help you tie back the broken threads of destiny. Now give yourself a moment. Close your eyes and breathe. Let the world step aside, leaving only you and this thread of destiny. Imagine yourself in an ancient temple, surrounded by stone pillars buried for millennia by wind and sand. The air is filled with the fragrance of myrrh and blue lotus. Inside the temple is a massive knotted totem, composed of 7 coils. It resembles a chakra symbol, but more like the fabric of time itself. You approach it, your footsteps echoing on the stone floor. At the center of the totem, a vortex of light slowly swirls. That is Isis's energy field. This isn't a myth, but a symbol of the deepest power within you. Gentle, steadfast, and tranquil, yet undeniable. You reach out to the totem, and streams of light slowly wrap around your wrist. Like threads pulling you into another state of consciousness, you'll begin to hear, not with your ears, but with your soul. You once forgot me, but I remain within you, waiting for you to weave yourself back together again. Isis has no form. She is the tenderness you feel in mending the cracks of others in your life, the resilience you hold on to even when you're falling apart. She doesn't require you to change, but rather accept and weave, threading, knotting, and securing the brokenness, trauma, mistakes, and regrets, making them all a true part of the tapestry of your destiny. Hold this image for 5 minutes. Don't open your eyes just yet. You're not meditating. You're entering the weaving workshop of the inner universe. When you feel your heartbeat slow, your body sinking into the earth, your consciousness as soft yet ever stretching as a thread, that's Isis drawing you into her embrace. Don't be afraid. You will weave anew who you are. Do you remember that knotted thread? It's not broken. It simply waits for you to untie it yourself and tie it again, with a new order, a new intention, and a new flow of energy. Now we will use this meditation, knotting the knots to reconnect the 7 chakras. This is a deep consciousness practice passed down by Isis, transforming chaos into order and division into channeling. First knot, root chakra. I exist. Direct your awareness to the base of your tailbone. Imagine a red thread emerging from the earth, wrapping around the lowest part of your body, and tying it into a knot. This knot represents your commitment to life. It's not about wanting to live, but rather, I have the right to exist. Silently recite, I allow myself to exist in this land and will not flee. Second knot, sacral chakra. I feel continue the thread upward to your pelvis and tie the second knot. This will be an orange light flowing through your emotions. It was once suppressed, shamed, and silenced. Now by tying it, you say, I no longer deny my feelings. Recite silently, my emotions are real and I allow them to flow. Third knot, solar chakra. I am powerful. Wrap the thread around your stomach, which often feels tight and blocked. This third knot uses golden thread. This is your center of will, the place where you decide I can or I am not worthy. Recite silently, my will is sacred. I have the power to choose and act. Fourth knot, heart chakra. I love come to your chest. We've already awakened it before, but this time, we're tying a different knot, not to protect, not to close ourselves off, but to open, connect, and love. Wrap the green thread around your chest, like a vine entwined into a lotus knot. Recite silently, I am willing to love and to be loved. Fifth knot, throat chakra. I speak. The thread continues upward, reaching the throat. Do you often feel like words get stuck in your throat? Do you often find yourself unable to speak? This knot is sky blue. Tell yourself silently, repeat, my voice deserves to be heard and I speak my true self. This knot, Ajna chakra. I see the thread gently passes across your forehead, tying a violet-blue knot between your eyebrows. It connects your obscured intuition, suppressed insights, and mocked imagination. You must dare to see, even if the truth is glaring. Even if it has been denied, silently repeat, I see the light behind all obscurations. Seventh knot, crown chakra. I am one, finally. Wrap the thread around the crown of your head, quietly opening like a 1,000-petal lotus. This knot is invisible, yet the deepest. You didn't tie it. Isis tied it for you. The ultimate knot connecting heaven and earth. Divinity and humanity, chaos and order. You only need to whisper, I have returned. I am whole. Section 9. Mirror of Isis, facing your destiny. Totem, you think you're always walking. But in reality, you've always been pulled by the thread. From the moment you were born, you carry a tangled thread of destiny. It wasn't tied by you, but you bear it. And in the ritual of Isis for the first time, you will clearly seize the pattern that has entangled your soul throughout its life. This is not a prophecy, it's a reflection. The mirror of Isis is not a crystal ball. It doesn't tell you whether you'll win the lottery tomorrow or whether your loved one will return. It reflects the recurring patterns in your unconscious. A pattern of always failing at the last step. A trajectory of being marginalized despite striving hard. A rhythm of wanting love but always pushing people away. You thought it was just personality? Karma? Luck? But now you know it's a knot, a rope. Only by seeing the shape of the thread can you weave it again. Next, close your eyes. Imagine a mirror, like the surface of water rising before you. It's the mirror of Isis, radiating a silvery blue light. In the mirror, a totemic web emerges. This isn't myth. It's the fingerprint of your soul. Can you spot the messes in the pattern? The knots, the gaps? Have you noticed that the recurring people, events, and situations happen to be stuck in those knots? You're not a failure. You've simply never picked up this mirror. Should you cut it off or weave it anew? Many people at this point are tempted to cut it off or start over. But Isis never cuts the thread. She teaches weaving, stitching, and stretching. What you perceive as flaws are actually the challenging textures your soul willingly carries. You can't get rid of them. You can only reconstruct them. Weaving begins with choice. Reflect on the choices you made throughout the day. Refusing to respond to an inner thought. Not expressing your feelings to someone you like. Or once again avoiding a situation where you should say no. These are all quietly weaving your thread. The mirror of Isis reminds you, every choice you make is a stitch or a tear. How you live today determines the shape of your destiny totem tomorrow. You used to think motherhood was simply softness, kindness, and sacrifice. But in Isis's system, motherhood is the archetype of strength, the creator of order, the first kinetic energy born from chaos. Not embracing everything, but orchestrating everything. True motherhood isn't about unconditionally swallowing chaos or enduring brokenness. True motherhood involves plucking threads from chaos, sorting them out, mending them, and even reinventing them. Why is Isis the mother of all gods? It's not because of her compassion, but because she possesses the ability to restore order to destiny. What about you? Are you constantly trying to play the role of repairing relationships and understanding others, only to find yourself increasingly empty, exhausted, and powerless? That's because you haven't become the weaver yet. You're merely playing the role of the mender. Your task isn't to stitch an old web, but to weave a new pattern. The ancient Egyptian totem thread wasn't about repairing old threads, but about disconnecting, reconstructing, and recoding them. Your destiny doesn't have just one pattern. You can end one and begin a new one. Isis told her followers, "When your thread becomes tangled to its limit, you have the right to cut it. But after cutting it, you must know how to weave it anew. You must take up that silver thread, the thread of your will, and weave it anew, creating a new beginning, a new intersection, and a new direction." How do you weave the first thread anew? Start with the 3 questions of motherhood. What else can I bear? Not what I should bear. Who gave me this thread? Do I really want to continue? 3. For what destiny am I willing to weave anew? These questions aren't meant to help you escape fate, but rather to help you become the mother of your destiny. You are not a victim, you are the weaver. Under the heart chakra, unfold a new destiny. Imagine an invisible shuttle at the center of your body, beneath the heart chakra. It connects to your solar plexus and the direction of your hands. You are about to begin weaving. Move your fingers and feel the thread flowing through your consciousness. This isn't for others, nor is it for healing, but so that the most important pattern of meaning in your life can finally take shape. Are you ready? We are now entering the heart of the Isis knotting ritual. This isn't a visualization exercise or a simple energy breath. It's a reawakening of soul. Memory. The ancient Egyptian priests believed that true energy rituals rely not on outward movements but on activating the symbolic structures within your body. The Isis knotting ritual awakens within you that forgotten, primal maternal structure, not a loving mother figure, but a creative matrix that controls order and manipulates destiny. Step 1. Make a hand seal to connect creation and destiny. Raise your hands, fingertips facing each other but not touching. Middle fingers pointing upward, creating a slightly open barrier. Close your eyes and imagine a thread stretching between your hands. Not just any thread, but the original thread of destiny, the intention you brought down from the astral realm at birth. At this moment, do not think of praying or requesting. Your purpose is to declare your return. Silently recite, "I summon the knot of Isis, returning the shuttle of my destiny." With each recitation, you will feel the space between your fingertips warm as the energy field begins to weave. Step 2. Heart chakra activated, maternal center illuminated. Gently touch your right fingertips to the heart chakra, directly in the center of your sternum. This is your body's maternal receiver, connecting to your ancestors, the mother of creation, and your own subconscious structure. Visualize a golden knotted cord symbol emerging from your heart chakra, the seal of Isis. It's not a static pattern, but a fluid, intertwined life form. It beats within you like a heart, and at the same time, it slowly spins like a cosmic disk. This knotted cord seal is the identification card of the weaver of destiny within your soul. You are not here to be changed, but to be restored to your true place. Step 3. 3 knots, 3 destinies now. Imagine yourself tying the knots. The first knot connects to the past. All the fragmentation, entanglement, and chaos you've ever experienced are now securely bound within this knot and return to the cosmic matrix. The second knot connects to the present. Your consciousness, body, breath, and choices converge at the knot's center, like a steady, clear beam of light. The third knot connects to the future. Instead of kneeling before fate, you take up the rope and proactively unthread it. You no longer wait for fate to decide. Instead, from now on, you compose the symphony of your own destiny. You will find that when these 3 knots are tied in your mind, your breath becomes slow, deep, and steady. Your body becomes a vast loom of destiny, and you, sitting at the center, you are not an abandoned child, not a victim pushed around. You are the embodiment of primordial maternity, the weaver of the thread of life. Do you remember Horus, the son of Isis? He was stitched together from a torn world, stitch by stitch by his mother. This isn't a myth, but a symbol. The true new self isn't born, but sewn together. Now we enter the Sea of Night in ancient Egyptian mythology. It represents the deepest, shadowy region of consciousness. All unresolved pain, loss, shame, and fear float there like the fragments of a drowning person. Your task is not to hide from them, but to scoop them up one by one like Isis, stitching them together, reassembling them and shaping a new existence. Step 1. Close your eyes and enter the Sea of Night. Find a completely quiet space, preferably at night. Light a candle or a small lamp. Finally, close your eyes and feel that the darkness around you is not an enemy, but the starting point of your return. Visualize yourself floating on a vast, boundless ocean. With pitch-black water beneath you and no stars visible above, do not be afraid. This sea is called the Sea of the Mother. You are returning to the weaving room of your soul. Step 2. Find the broken knots in this dark sea. You will slowly see certain images emerge. An irreparable rupture in a relationship. A promise you once believed in but was betrayed. Childhood scene you once wanted to escape. Each image is a broken knot on your destiny line. Don't suppress it. Don't distract yourself. Instead, approach it and retie it with your mind. It's not about repairing it, but about tying a new knot with this trace. The more fear you have, the more it relates to your transformation. Step 3. Infuse maternity, healing your soul's wounds. Once you have finished mending the 3 broken knots, visualize Isis behind you, handing you her thread wrapped in blue-gold light. She won't mend it for you, but she will place the spool of maternal energy in your hands. From this moment on, you are the weaver of your own soul. You will discover that the experiences that once caused you to rot have now become the strongest fibers in your spool. Not only will you not be crushed by them, you will use them to weave a new totem of destiny. Section 13. The body's knot map. The symbols of destiny hidden within you. We always thought that the knots of fate were hidden externally, in relationships, money, family, time. But what truly traps you are the knots within your own body. In ancient Egyptian temple murals, Isis is often depicted as a woman with her hands entwined with ropes. That isn't decoration. It's a map, a knot map of the body. The location of each knot corresponds to an energetic blockage, and these points coincide with the familiar chakra system. Throat chakra, the knot of unspoken truth. Do you often remain silent at crucial moments? Are you unable to express your needs, or do you always try to flatter others? This isn't a personality issue. It's the knot in your throat chakra. It symbolizes the knot of misunderstanding. You're afraid to express your true feelings because you've been denied, humiliated, or ignored after speaking your heart. The Isis knot in the throat chakra will keep you speechless until you untie it with your true voice. Heart chakra, the knot of lost motherhood. Why is your heart always closed? Why do you always feel that loving yourself is empty talk? The knot here represents unresolved attachments. The understanding, care, and appreciation you longed for in childhood weren't realized. And that emotional knot quietly bound your heart chakra. The Isis knot here isn't a lock, but a tenderness waiting to be sewn by you. Only by stitching it together yourself. Stitch by stitch, can you cultivate the ability to love yourself and others? Uterus, second chakra. The knot of unresolved creativity. This is the deepest and oldest knot. For women in particular, the entanglement in this area represents too much intergenerational repression, exploitation, or imprisoned creative energy. Do you want to do something but are constantly being held back by a nameless heaviness? It's not an emotion, but the programming of your body, the unresolved knots of your ancestors, which continue to tangle within you. This is where Isis's resurgence begins. She doesn't fight, but weaves, reworking with this thread, not against it. Section 14. Ritual of reconstructing destiny. Writing your new name with knots. Imagine this scene. You sit in a quiet room, holding a silken thread. It's not a necklace or an ornament, but the thread of your destiny. According to the ritual tradition of Isis, You wrap it around your fingers, one loop after another, not randomly, but rhythmically and meaningfully. Each knot symbolizes a past trauma. You give it a name. Each twist symbolizes a moment of self-recognition. You give it meaning. By the time the last knot is complete, your name is no longer yours. It is the name of the person who weaves your destiny back into your own hands. This is not symbolism. It is a true rewriting of the code of the heart. Section 15. Practical practice. A contemporary expression of the Isis knot ritual. You might ask, I don't have a temple or ancient Egyptian knotting tools. How can I do this? I'll tell you now. All you need is a piece of string, a pen, and a heart willing to face your own destiny. Step 1. Choose your thread of destiny. Prepare a thread you wish to imbue with meaning. Wool, leather, or red string will do, preferably. Something as ordinary as you have on hand that you can hold on to. Step 2. Write down your 7 seals. Get a pen and paper and write down 7 beliefs or wounds that you feel are holding you back. For example, I'm not worthy of love. I can't fail. I must please everyone, etc. These are the 7 knots on your thread of destiny. Step 3. 1 knot, 1 face at a time with each knot. Whisper the limiting belief. Then say a transformation of it. For example, I am not worthy of love. I am worthy of unconditional love. Tie a knot each time you say it, until all 7 knots are complete. You'll be surprised to find that the thread begins to carry a new energy structure. Section 16. The 8th knot. The call of the maternal archetype. When the 7th knot is tied, it means you have transcended all external limitations, but the true journey has only just begun. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Isis is not just a gentle goddess. She is also a maternal warrior who is reborn in fire and creates miracles in solitude. She weaves destiny not only to save Osiris, but also to reaffirm the world's belief in the ultimate power of creation, healing, and integration. Now please close your eyes again. Hold the knotted thread tightly in your hands, feeling each knot as a point of pain. Challenge growth and resurgence in your life. Then, imagine Isis standing before you. Her hands are outstretched, and the knots slowly unravel within her palms. They are not cut, not denied, but accepted and rewoven. This is the true power of motherhood, not to destroy the old self, but to gently reconstruct destiny with love. Section 17. The 9th knot. Breaking inherited maternal trauma. If you think this is all about females, you're mistaken. Motherhood is the creative energy within everyone. The problem is, most people carry a silent trauma from birth, a maternal absence, distortion, repression, and even harm. Have you ever felt unworthy of tenderness? Do you subconsciously turn to self-denial and self-attack in critical moments? These may stem from a forgotten maternal fracture within you. The Isis knot at the 9th knot, designed to repair this inherited fracture. It's not about redepending on others, but about recalling the archetype of your inner mother. At this point, please begin again and tie the 9th knot on the rope. But this time, remember silently as you tie it. I choose to recognize myself again and care for myself. This is a reconciliation with the past and a reclaiming of your own body. You didn't grow up isolated. You were simply taught how to forget your creative potential. And now it's time to take it back.